Class 1 railroad companies are big. So big, in fact, that it's hard to even fit a third of the Norfolk Southern system on a full-screen map. Indeed, with such a vast system, early May found delay in block productions trackside in Illinois along Norfolk Southern's busy former Wabash main lines. This would be our first trip to the region, with our sights being set on capturing more high-hood locomotives in active freight service. On May 6th, we would spend the day on the east side of St. Louis, Missouri, at Granite City, Illinois' A.O. Smith Yard. There, we would encounter Norfolk Southern SD 40-2 number 1635, a former Norfolk and Western high-hood locomotive that has been assigned to remote control yard service in Granite City for several years now. In the fall of 2018, we captured sister locomotive number 1634, working at East Wayne Yard just outside of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Upon arrival at A.O. Smith Yard, it appeared the train crew was having a bit of a lunch break. Not wanting to miss any action on the busy main line nearby, we ventured to WR Interlocking about a mile south to capture the Granite City local with 2 slug sets, taking the connection to the Terminal Railroad Association. Interestingly enough, NS 611, an RP M4C slug unit, was in the consist. This particular slug is well known by many rail fans for sharing the same road number as the famed Norfolk and Western Class J steam locomotive owned by the Virginia Museum of Transportation. A slug is an accessory to a diesel locomotive. It has trucks with traction motors, but unlike a B unit, it can't generate power on its own since it lacks a prime mover. Instead, the slug is connected to a powered locomotive called the mother, which provides the needed electrical power to operate the traction motors and the motor controls. Slugs are used to increase the adhesive weight, allowing full power to be applied at a lower speed, thus allowing a higher maximum tractive effort. They are often used in low-speed operations such as switching in yards. At low speeds, a diesel-electric locomotive prime mover is capable of producing more electricity than its traction motors can use efficiently. Extra power could cause the wheels to slip and possibly overheat the traction motors. By increasing the number of traction motors available to the locomotive, slugs also increase both the pulling and braking power. In addition, the load on each traction motor is reduced, which helps prevent overheating from excess current. Slugs typically carry ballast to increase their weight and improve traction. Large blocks of concrete are frequently used for this purpose, substituting for the weight of the now absent prime mover and fuel tank. Back at A.O. Smith Yard, we were finally able to capture the 1635 pulling and shoving a long cut of cars in the yard. High hoods are becoming increasingly rare on Norfolk Southern, with most being sold off or rebuilt in recent years with Admiral cabs. As of May of 2019, the 1625 through 1635 series remain the only high hood 6-axle diesel locomotives on the entire roster. Later in the evening, we would spend golden hour along the mighty Mississippi to capture 2 trains crossing over into Illinois. The first train is eastbound Manifest 308, a daily Luther Yard to Decatur, Illinois freight train. Luther Yard is on the Missouri side of the river and is one of Norfolk Southern's busiest facilities in the region. As the train crosses the Mississippi River, the skyline of St. Louis can be observed from our vantage point. The unmistakable landmark, the Gateway Arch, is clearly visible in the golden May sunshine. About an hour later, we captured the Terminal Railroad Association's transfer job from St. Louis to Granite City. The Terminal Railroad Association of St. Louis, reporting mark TRRA, is a switching and terminal railroad that handles traffic in the St. Louis metropolitan area. The Terminal Railroad Association was originally created in 1889 to satisfy the need for an efficient, safe, and economical method of interchanging rail traffic at the railroad hub of St. Louis. It is co-owned by 5 Class I railroads that reach the city, with Union Pacific having the controlling interest. The Terminal Railroad owns and operates the Merchants Bridge, the MacArthur Bridge, a rail switching facility in Madison, Illinois, and several key railroad routes in St. Louis, Missouri, and Madison and St. Clair counties in Illinois. Its rail yard operation in Madison, Illinois, is the largest such facility in the region and is the heart of the company's operations. The terminal's transfer job would be our last train of the day in western Illinois. Overnight, we followed the former Wabash Mainline to Decatur, Illinois, where we would spend the night in anticipation for another successful day on Norfolk Southern's busy Brooklyn District Mainline. However, our first few trains wouldn't be on Norfolk Southern. In fact, Decatur is also home to the Canadian National Railway and 2 short-line railroads, the newly formed Watco-owned Decatur and Eastern Illinois Railroad, and the Omnitrax-owned Decatur Central. Our very first train would be a westbound grain train on the Decatur Central with 2 very worn-out ex-Union Pacific Jeeps. After catching the Decatur Central heading south to the interchange point with Canadian National, we caught up with the Decatur Local, which was making its way back to the former Illinois Central yard. In charge of the train today are two 4-axle EMDs, former Grand Trunk Western GP38-2, number 5818, and the still black Illinois Central GP40-2, number 3115. Indeed, seeing a Death Star Jeep is becoming quite rare, and we were delighted to see it working on this bright, sunny, but very windy May morning. After making a brief stop at the yard office to sort out paperwork, the crew would begin the process of switching out the consist in the yard, pulling down near the diamond shared with Norfolk Southern in downtown Decatur. Decatur, Illinois is a town with a peculiar aroma. Yes, the pungent and quite frankly dreadful scent of corn syrup processing fills the air of the city thanks to the Tate and Lyle facility located on Norfolk Southern's Decatur yard. The Tate and Lyle Company is one of the largest employers in Decatur. Because of flooding in Hannibal, Missouri, all through trains normally seen on the Kansas City to Decatur Main were being rerouted over the Brooklyn District instead, continuing the flow of traffic on the busy East-West Railroad. Our hopes of capturing train 256 in the daylight were high, and the odds were in our favor. 256 is the only eastbound Triple Crown trailer train in service on the entire Norfolk Southern system. After capturing the CN Decatur Local, we watched as the eastbound Norfolk Southern train 146 crossed the Lake Decatur Bridge on the east side of town. Train 146 is a daily Decatur to Bellevue, Ohio manifest train. Today, the train had a colorful consist of Norfolk Southern and CSX Foreign Power. After capturing the train over Lake Decatur, we ventured east to Oakley, Illinois, at Angle Crossing Road to watch the train at speed as it continued on to Peru, Indiana, where the 146 will be recrewed for the rest of the journey to Bellevue. Back in Decatur, we watched from the parking lot of the former Wabash station as Watco's yard job continued their switching duties throughout the afternoon. From this fantastic railfan-friendly location, we would observe a steady diet of freight trains pounding the CN Diamond on their journeys over the Wabash Mainline. The first train we captured here was westbound grain train D79, a local with an SD60E on the point. About 20 minutes after D79 cleared the Diamond, a lone GP60 in the thoroughbred paint scheme was seen running long hood forward with local train D27 in tow. The D27 is a Decatur to Karnes, Illinois turn job and was returning to the yard after a day filled with switching local industries. Once the local was in the clear, we watched as train 272, an eastbound, pounded the Diamond as it continued into Decatur. Train 272 is a daily Kansas City, Missouri to Winston-Salem, North Carolina auto rack. Train 181 is a daily Detroit to Kansas City auto parts train that originates in Oakwood Yard. About 20 minutes after seeing 272, we caught the 181 leaving Decatur. Train 181 is a railfan favorite for the colorful, varied 86-foot extended boxcars used for hauling automotive parts between manufacturing facilities. Decatur often sees heavy intermodal traffic on Norfolk Southern, and May 7th saw no exception. Train 20T is a daily Kansas City to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania intermodal train that works Luther Yard in St. Louis before continuing east over the Wabash to Butler, Indiana, where it then takes the connection on the Norfolk Southern Chicago line to points east on the Dearborn Division. In Decatur, the train will receive a fresh crew to Peru, who will then take the train to Toledo, Ohio, before changing crews yet again on its long journey to Harrisburg. Today's 20T was being pulled by two of Norfolk Southern's Catfish GE-9 locomotives. They are nicknamed Catfish because of the interesting-looking logo on the nose, resembling whiskers on a catfish. after capturing the very long intermodal train, we ate dinner at Coney McCain's in downtown Decatur before venturing west to Blue Mound, Illinois. There, in the rural farming community, we would capture 2 freight trains before the sun disappeared and gave way to the night. Our first eastbound would be Train 10E, a manifest train from Madison, Illinois to Conway, Pennsylvania. This train is handled by the Terminal Railroad Association in St. Louis between Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. The Norfolk Southern Brooklyn District, running from Decatur, Illinois to Bridge Junction in East St. Louis, Illinois, sees a healthy diet of daily freight trains. The line is mostly controlled by track authorities from BD Junction just outside of Decatur to Winston near Litchfield, Illinois, but the rest of the line is CTC. Our second train at Blue Mound would be none other than the Monday through Saturday Triple Crown Train 256, which originates in Kansas City at Volt's Yard and terminates at Oakwood Yard in Detroit. Train 256 normally doesn't take this route to Decatur, but was rerouted due to the flooding at Hannibal, Missouri. We would capture 256 for a second time just outside of Decatur as it passed Manifest Train 297 at BD Junction. After catching the train at BD Junction, we raced to the Wabash station to capture 256 pounding the diamond in downtown Decatur. Seeing this train was the highlight of our Illinois adventure. In the fall of 2015, Norfolk Southern drastically cut back its Triple Crown services in a measure to streamline operations. Triple Crown offers customers a unique form of logistics that involves placing semi-truck trailers on top of railroad wheels called bogies and then transporting them in bulk to various cities along the NS system. The cities Triple Crown once served included the following locations: Atlanta, Georgia; Bethlehem, Pennsylvania; Chicago, Illinois; Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas; Fort Wayne, Indiana; Harrisburg, Pennsylvania; Jacksonville, Florida; Minneapolis, Minnesota; and Sandusky, Ohio. Once the system was streamlined in late 2015, the former Wabash Mainline between Kansas City and Detroit became the only line on the Norfolk Southern system that Triple Crown trains operate over. The future of the service remains grim, with rumors of a 2020 shutdown circulating throughout the region. Only time will tell, but for now, catch them while you can. About 20 minutes after 256 cleared the diamond, we watched as westbound train 15E began its journey west with 2 Union Pacific locomotives on the point. This train definitely qualifies as one of the strangest consists we've ever seen. Yes, you never know what you're going to see in this era of precision scheduled railroading. As the 15E pounded the diamond, the CN yard job waited patiently for permission to shove, yes, shove, over the diamond to allow for mainline clearance of an outbound grain train stuck in the yard. Immediately after receiving the signal, IC 9600 acted as the shoving platform for the outbound grain train. This would be our last train of the evening, and due to time constraints, we didn't film the entire train before taking off on our journey back to our homes in Indiana and Michigan. Thank you for watching Delay in Block Productions. Until next time, happy railroading from all of us at Delay in Block Productions.